Change had been brewing for months, quietly lurking beneath the polished surface of royal tradition. But on that October morning, everything shifted. As Prince William stood at the podium, his face composed, yet carrying the weight of a decision that would shake the very foundations of the monarchy, it was clear. Something monumental was happening. This wasn't just another royal announcement. It was the beginning of a new era, a defining moment that would forever alter the path of the British crown. "I think it's safe to say that change is on my agenda," William had once said, embracing the unknown with a calm resolve. Change, for better or worse, had arrived, and as he stood before the cameras, his voice steady but filled with purpose, the weight of his words carried the full gravity of the monarchy's future. Change, after all, had never been something to fear. It was inevitable, it was necessary, and this time it would come with a vengeance. Get out! The voice that shattered the stillness of Buckingham Palace was that of Prince William, his sharp command reverberating through the halls. It was a chilling declaration, setting in motion a chain of events that would forever change the royal family. As insiders whispered of Camilla's sudden departure, rumours swirled. Was she leaving for good, or was this merely the quiet before the storm? What had started as a subtle power struggle had quickly escalated into a battle of wills. It all began with Camilla's calculated manoeuvring behind the scenes. A web of manipulation and secrecy spun to secure her own legacy, while undermining the very foundations of the royal family. Leaked reports soon revealed a shocking truth. Camilla had secretly signed a deal with an international media company to produce a documentary. Marketed as a tribute to the royal family's legacy, it quickly became apparent that this was no act of admiration. The documentary was nothing more than a carefully crafted tool to bolster her own image, to reframe her role in the royal narrative, and to subtly diminish William's significance. But it didn't stop there. There were whispers of financial misconduct, reports suggesting that royal funds had been misused for personal gain. When these revelations finally reached William's ears, the confrontation became unavoidable. This wasn't just about media manipulation anymore. It was about trust, integrity, and the very future of the monarchy. William knew that action had to be taken, and so he called for a meeting with Princess Anne. No longer was this a matter of internal royal disputes. It was an all-out battle for control. When the moment arrived, Prince William stood before the press, his demeanour as calm as ever. But those who knew him could feel the weight of what was about to unfold. The room was thick with anticipation, and as William lifted his head and spoke, the world seemed to hold its breath. Queen Camilla will step back from all public duties effective immediately. The words rang through the hall like thunder, a momentous statement that would forever change the landscape of the royal family. For a brief moment, there was silence, a silence so thick it felt almost suffocating. And then, as if on cue, a white dove flew past the grand window, a strange and eerie omen that would later be replayed over and over in the media. Was this a sign of the end of an era, or was it the first sign of something even more profound? The press conference was over in a matter of minutes. No fanfare, no dramatic flourish, just a brief, direct statement. Yet, as the reporters gathered their things and the cameras clicked furiously, something unmistakable lingered in the air. Camilla's portrait had vanished from Buckingham Palace, replaced by an absence that spoke volumes. It was a move that sent shockwaves through the media and left royal watchers scrambling for answers. Was this the end of Camilla's reign, or was it just the beginning of a new battle? As the days passed, the true magnitude of William's decision became clear. Behind closed doors, a storm had been brewing, and now it was out in the open. The royal family, once a cohesive unit, was now divided. The air in Buckingham Palace grew colder, the tensions palpable. William was no longer just the heir apparent. He had become the face of the British monarchy. But Camilla, as history had shown, was not one to go quietly. She retreated to Windsor, far from the cameras and the public eye, but the whispers continued. The royal family had been fractured, and everyone knew it. The question was no longer about who would sit on the throne. It was about who would control the future of the monarchy itself. In the quiet halls of Clarence House, Camilla brooded. The quiet voice that had once been her strength now seemed distant and hollow. She had built her entire life on manipulation and careful planning, but now, as her world crumbled around her, she realized that her position was slipping away. The press, once so kind to her, had turned, and the royal funds that had once flowed freely to her projects were now under scrutiny. It wasn't just her public image that had been tarnished, it was the very foundation of the monarchy. For years, Camilla had fought to secure her place, to transform from an outsider into a queen, But now, as the tide turned against her, she found herself isolated, abandoned by those she had once counted on. But in the silence of her solitude, Camilla made a decision. She would fight back. She would reclaim what was rightfully hers, even if it meant resorting to tactics that had once been beneath her. The whispers from the media grew louder, and soon stories began circulating about her dealings with foreign diplomats and media moguls. She had built an empire of influence, using every resource at her disposal to maintain her power. But William was watching. He had seen it all: the lies, the manipulation, the secret deals, and now he was ready to expose her for who she truly was. Behind closed doors, the royal family met in secret, reviewing the evidence. Financial records, media testimonies, and leaked documents all pointed to one undeniable truth. Camilla had been playing a dangerous game, one that threatened to undermine the monarchy itself. But William, ever the strategist, knew that the time had come to act. No longer would he allow her to manipulate the royal family for her own gain. The fateful meeting at Buckingham Palace was a quiet affair. William, Anne, and a few trusted advisors sat around the table, reviewing the evidence. The atmosphere was tense, the stakes higher than ever. William had made his decision. He would confront Camilla head-on, but with the utmost caution. This was no longer just a matter of family loyalty. It was about the future of the monarchy itself. When Camilla entered the room, she was calm, poised, and ready for a fight. But William was prepared. The documents were laid out before her, each one revealing the extent of her manipulation. "These are financial records," William said quietly, his voice steady but filled with authority. "These are the testimonies from journalists you've worked with. This is the truth." Camilla met his gaze, her defiance unmistakable. "I don't need permission to protect my reputation," she shot back. "If I don't rewrite my own story, who will?" But William was unshaken. "Rewriting is one thing," he said, his tone cold, "but using public money to manipulate media is another." And so, in that moment, the gloves came off. Camilla's defiance, her calculated words, only served to confirm what William already knew. She would stop at nothing to maintain her grip on power. But William, with quiet determination, refused to let her. This was no longer just a matter of royal politics. It was about the future of the British monarchy, and William was prepared to fight for it. As the meeting ended, the air was thick with tension. Camilla, her pride bruised but still intact, left the room. But William knew that this was just the beginning. The power struggle was far from over, and the monarchy's future hung in the balance. In the days that followed, William's decision would resonate across the world. A single statement, delivered with calm precision, would mark the beginning of a new era for the British monarchy. And for Camilla, it was the end of an era. Her reign had been short, her power fleeting. But in the quiet halls of Windsor, she knew one thing for certain: her battle for the throne was far from over. As the world waited, one question remained. What would happen next in this royal game, and who would ultimately emerge victorious?